Rebel Against Defeat. This channel is dedicated to masculinity, improving oneself, and chasing excellence. Today's video topic, believe it or not, money and women. But more importantly, I just read an article called How Student Loan Debt is Destroying Marriages, and the husbands and boyfriends that are co-signing loans for these gals. And most of these gals, there's a story about a guy named Steve who co-signed for his wife $20,000 loan for, probably a gender studies degree, or, you know, women's studies or something like that. Signed $20,000. Well, guess what happened? The marriage didn't work out. Guess who got stuck with it? You got it. The husband. The ex-husband is now responsible for the $20,000 loan as his ex-wife, and she is only paying $25 a month. It's ballooned into a gigantic loan now, probably $10,000 more. It's probably $30,000, $40,000 on top. He didn't read the fine print, and I read an article that said student loan debt is destroying marriages. 13% of all divorces, or 1 in 8, is being destroyed by exorbitant amount of debt, especially student loan debt. And the statistics are now 63 or 64% of all college students are women. Most of those degrees that they're pursuing are kind of those Mickey Mouse degrees, pottery, art history, gender studies. They're not into science. Most of them aren't into engineering or accounting. Very, very few. I'd say less than 5%. So all of these boyfriends and husbands are signing loans for these gals. They're getting stuck with the bill right on divorce. I mean, out of control, ridiculous. Guys, find an occupation that's a skill that you can take and you can earn money significantly. If you want to study computer engineering, there's so many courses. Within 2 to 3 months, you can be a full-blown engineer and then just gain experience. You don't need a computer science degree anymore. The only reason you go to college, becoming a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, engineer, architect, something like that. But I would say go after some of the harder work, even plumbing, electrician, HVAC, concrete, building things, starting your own business is the key. I mean, education nowadays, I don't think it's worth it unless you go in those disciplines that need a degree. But let's digress and talk about women and spending. Women cannot not spend. They are notorious for spending. I think it gets into their DNA from back in the caveman days when they had to provide and they had to seek materials and hold on to it. I think that there's some sort of connection that they feel to that primordial brain, and a credit card going through a machine, it somehow triggers them to acquire in the hopes that they don't lose out and become desperate and have no money and no materials to live their life. And maybe there's some sort of connection based on their DNA programming a million years ago. But if a gal makes $100,000 a year, or is part of $100,000 a year nest, or a salary, she's going to spend $150,000. If she's a part of $1 million a year salary, whether it's her husband or maybe she's got a business, she's going to spend $1.5 million. They never ever save. Very rarely have I met a woman that is prudent in the financial arena. Guys, this is why you got to vet these gals out. Hold on to your dough. As a man, you don't need to make a ton of money to live. Unless you want to show off and you live with outside of your means, live within your means, save, build, and enjoy that. Okay, we don't need a lot of things. We can drive a 1991 Bronco. We're fine with that. We don't need a brand new Tesla. We can wear the same Levi's over 5 years, 10 years. We don't have a problem with that. We can wear the same sunglasses. So continue understanding that finances are a gigantic part of relationships. For us, we're dealing, and if we're in a relationship or you're in a relationship, you're dealing with a gal that spends, that's got a habit, which I would say 98% of you folks have women that are overspending your money. Figure out a way to rein that in, get your own bank accounts, get off anything that deals with mutual credit cards, and start building your own nest egg. It's as simple as that. And for hell's sake, do not sign or co-sign on any loan or any sort of student education whatsoever. You can read this article on mailmagazine.com and take a look at how student loan debt is destroying marriages. It's quite an interesting read. But that's my topic for today. Stay strong, improve yourself, chase excellence. This is Rebel Against Defeat.